What's up, YouTube? Hope everything is well. Today I will continue with my series The Best Buy. Today is the number 8. You can check the other ones on my YouTube channel. There is actually a playlist for all of them. This is a series that you guys tend to enjoy quite a lot, and I hope this is no exception. So, if in the end end up enjoying this one, do not forget to leave the like on the video. Means a lot to me, super easy to do it, so why not? Apart from that, a lot of my viewers are not even subscribers to the channel. I guess you can change that right now. And if you are subscribing to the channel right now, again, thank you so much for that. So, don't forget the like. I know I ask all the time for leaving a like on the video, but it's really important and really helps the channel quite a lot. So let's move on to the disclaimer. It will be a short one, but a very important one. Look, no financial advice. Do your own research. Prices or pop can eventually be wrong at the time you see this video. No one can predict the market, and by the way, this market is a great example of that. Fundamentals are your best friend in the long run. I do not believe in timing the market, I believe time in the market as long you spend that time well. Keep in mind that I'm a collector first and an investor second, so I assess value, then I go for price. Any card I will show on this video or any video I can eventually be buying or selling. On the description you can find a eBay affiliate link that supports the channel. So if you are supporting me in any type of way, thank you so much for that. English is not my main language. Any types of mispronunciations, I'm sorry. Notes for the Best Buy, and most of you guys are aware of them, so I will go quite fast on this. All of the data for the results I will show today end up being obtained on my Instagram profile. So follow me if you want to participate in the next one. More than 300 votes. But keep one thing in mind: my audience, I believe, is very well educated on the market. So even if you see those results, take all of them with a grain of salt, since maybe the perception of the market is actually quite different. Again, all of those have a fun component, so to give you my correct answer, I would need hours in research. So if I'm trying to buy a card or comparing a card one versus the other, look, this is a complex thing. You need hours in research to be sure that you are probably doing a great buy, a great investment. Things are way more complex than I will show today, and I guess most of you guys are aware of that. So, and look, if you do not agree with me or with my viewers, good chance you are correct, because like I said, things are quite complex. Let me say even another thing. Sometimes I show two great buys, but this is fun, and trying to pick the best one is actually the title of the series. So let's move on into the first. And one thing that I have to say on this, the Best Buy series, I try to choose cars that I do not talk that much, and I think this can actually provide a lot of value. Bring cars that maybe are not that popular in the hobby, but are still relevant for the history of pre-modern, for the history of the vintage market. So the first example is actually a great example. So 2004 Panini Derby Total Sérgio Ramos rookie card versus 2006 Panini Campeonato Brasileiro Marcelo da Silva Jr. Look, let's start with one thing. I believe both players are great players. I believe Sérgio Ramos is one of the best defenders ever, and I also believe Marcelo was one of the best left backs ever. The Sérgio Ramos card in the PSA 7, like I said, ended up selling for $100, and the Marcelo stickers sold for $93. So as you can see, very similar price wise. So what is the best buy? Again, looking at both careers, I would say one thing. I think at club level, they are similar. Probably Sergio Ramos have more hype around him than Marcelo, but I thought Marcelo was impressive with Real Madrid, still playing at Real Madrid, but at the end of his career, I would say that, or not in his prime, better saying. And Sergio Ramos, same thing, was super impressive with Real Madrid. Both ended up winning a crazy amount of Champions League. So on that level, for me, they are actually quite similar. But when it comes to national level, look, Sergio Ramos was a machine with Spain, ended up winning 2 Euro Cups, 1 World Cup, and that's the big problem with Marcelo. Marcelo, in my perspective, always end up underperforming playing with Brazil, and that's quite a big deal. That being said, both legendary players, both great players, I actually like both buys. Looking at rarity, I would say this. I think the Marcelo sticker, at least right now, knowing the awareness in Brazil, I believe this card is actually more rare, in this case a sticker, than the Sergio Ramos card. But rarity is not everything, and again, um, is the most important thing, but is not everything. And like I said, I think in terms of greatness, Sergio Ramos is a little bit ahead of Marcelo. I think this is a close one, but I would choose Sergio Ramos because the fundamentals are great for both, trying to put in the balance all the factors. And greatness is something that I care a lot, and I think Sergio Ramos is ahead of Marcel. So I would go for Sergio Ramos. Let's see what my viewers end up saying. And in this case, they agree with me. 67% end up going for Sergio Ramos, which I think is fair, honestly. This could be maybe a little bit more close, but again, both interesting buys. I prefer the Sergio Ramos card, even knowing that it's probably not the best rookie for Sergio Ramos, since probably the Panini ST sticker have way better lineage, and Mega Cracks, of course, much better, and even Mundi Chrome, there is probably argument to be made there also. So both interesting cards. Again, I'm happy with the result, but if you choose Marcel, I also think you can make a solid argument because rarity lineage is probably a little bit on the sticker. Moving on to the next one, and this is actually quite a fun one. Look, the first card is 2014 Panini Prism Neymar World Cup silver card, in this case a PSA 9 that sold less than $300 versus De Gea 2009 Panini sticker Coleciones Extra rookie sticker for De Gea that sold for exactly the same amount of money, so 288. Look, if I say all the time, look, sometimes I love both buys. In this case, not a fan of any of those cards, but I thought was interesting to try to make some logic on cards that, for sure, with $300 I would buy anything else, not those two cards. That being said, trying to pick one is an interesting one because I like the fact that the DG sticker is a PSA 10, so condition rarity could be a thing for sure, and apart from that, is a rookie card. That being said, again, in terms of greatness, in terms of being a relevant player in the hobby, I do not see De Gea that way. I think even if you compare with other goalkeepers nowadays, Alisson much better, Neuer much better, Oblak much better. So De Gea is just, again, is a good goalkeeper for sure, but I don't think I don't see De Gea being a legendary player, and I think most of you guys probably agree with me. Neymar, a different story. I think Neymar is one of the most important players in the pre-modern era for soccer. I know some people do not like Neymar. I think Neymar is a tremendous player. I think Neymar is actually undervalued in a macro perspective, not talking about this card in particular. So that automatic makes me believe that the Neymar card is probably the best buy. Apart from that, I believe this card is facing a super strong correction. I remember a PSA 9 selling around 1k. So maybe there is that. Maybe there will be some World Cup hype, and this card can potentially increase a little bit in value. So I would go for the Neymar one. Not an easy one for me. With that money, I would buy for sure other pre-modern legend. Let's see the results. And again, my audience end up agreeing with me. 65% for Neymar, 35% for De Gea is quite a lot, being real. But again, this is a difficult one. I agree with the Neymar choice. Again, difficult one, but I agree. Moving on. So the next one is another very spoiler alert. The next one is a very interesting one. 2010 Panini World Cup Cristiano Ronaldo South Africa premium card. So versus 96-97 Panini Melhores Equipos de Europa Thierry Henry. For Thierry Henry, this is actually a rookie card. For a long time, the market was not aware of this, since PSA and even, I believe, VGS ended up grading this card 97. So people end up believing this was actually a second-year card. Is not the case. It's actually a card that represents his rookie season, so automatic this card ended up gaining a lot of momentum in the last 1 year, 2 years, and I think well deserved, to be honest. Beautiful card for Henry. Henry, one of the best Premier League players ever, one of the best French players ever. Again, amazing player. You guys probably are aware of Thierry Henry. In the other end, we have Cristiano Ronaldo 2010, PSA 10, and for Henry was a SGC 6, by the way. So PSA 10, both end up selling for the same amount of money, 930, so close to 1k. Trying to make sense of both. Look, this is an easy one for me, being real. I would go for the Thierry Henry card for multiple reasons. Rookie card, I think, is way more relevant for the history of Thierry Henry than the 2010 card is for the history of Cristiano Ronaldo. I like the 2010 card, by the way. I think it's a beautiful card. But if I'm not wrong, I believe PSA 10 for that card is above 60 copies. And I'm not even sure if there is 60 copies grades of Panini Melhores de Equipos Europa. So condition rarity is important, but I believe there is more, there is true rarity or more true rarity, better saying, on the rookie sticker for Thierry Henry. This is not that close for me. I like the Thierry Henry card quite more. But this is always interesting because when you put Cristiano Ronaldo versus Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi versus any other player, there is always people debating. I'm not sure. Maybe I should go for Ronaldo. Maybe I should go for Messi because they are good, and Henry is not on the GOAT conversation because Henry does not enter the conversation with Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Maradona, Pelé. You guys already know the deal, I would say. So I suspect, because honestly I ended up preparing the slide a couple of days ago, but I suspect this will be close because of that. The Thierry Henry card for me a way better buy. And my audience ended up agreeing with me, so I'm happy with that. But was close, as you can see, almost 30% for Cristiano Ronaldo. In my perspective, this should be one side. I honestly believe that Thierry Henry card is a much better buy. Again, there is way more collectors for Cristiano Ronaldo, so maybe there is some bias on that front. But for me, this is not that close. Again, more rarity, condition rarity, I don't think is relevant since the Thierry Henry card, even without condition rarity, is more rare than a PSA 10 in my perspective. One is a rookie card, the other is from a World Cup that Cristiano Ronaldo ended up underperforming. Yeah, fundamentals are basic, and my fundamentals. You do yours, but in the end, I probably believe you end up agreeing with me that fundamentals are way better on the Thierry Henry card. Moving on to the next one, and now I need to do a plug to my Patreon and my Discord, and I think this is actually quite important. So guys, there is a new Q&A every week on the Patreon side. If you are not a part of my Patreon community, you need to pay $10. Again, I try to provide a lot of value there, trying to make the $10 look cheap. But look, if $10 is a lot of money to you, do not join my Patreon. You can support me basically, for example, just leaving a like on this video. That being said, I put exclusive content there. I put a Q&A every Wednesday and the extra audio on Saturday. So again, if you like my content on YouTube, very likely scenario you like my content on Patreon, and I put a lot of content there. As you can see, this was the last Q&A number 50, and I'm talking about the Thomas Mueller market, and I'm talking about NBA versus soccer, comparing legends there, comparing prices, increasing pops in the last 24 months for key cards on the vintage market, on the pre-modern market, stickers, biggest problem in my perspective on the soccer card market, navigating a strong bear market. So those are the topics that I believe are quite relevant. So if you are a Patreon member already, check the video if you did not saw the Q&A. If you want to debate with me those topics, joining the Patreon is the best way to do it. Link will be below the video. But again, like I was saying, $10 can be a lot of money. One thing that is free, so in this case there is no excuse for you to not join, is my Discord. My Discord is totally free. I will leave a link below the video. We are more than 500 members, and I interact with the community a lot there. It's an amazing place to learn about the soccer card market. And again, it's totally free. Join, and I believe you will also have a great time there. So both links below the video. Next one, and the next one, in my perspective, is a very fun one and a easy one. And spoiler, let's go. So, 2020 Top Scrum Champions League Pedri, green refractor, auto card, end up selling for 3.8k and versus 78 crack campeonato mundial Diego Maradona, rookie sticker, rookie card for Maradona. In this case, the PSA 2 that sold for basically the same amount of money, not 3.8k but 3.9k, so very close. Look, of course, you guys know, let's be real, that I will choose Maradona. I'm a big believer on the Maradona market. Maradona, I put as top four, could be even number one, is one of the goats, no doubt. Pedri, again, new kid on the market, super risky for me. I think in 10 years from now, who knows if Pedri will be a relevant player, but one thing that I'm sure is Maradona will still be one of the goats. So, interesting stuff to debate, because look, there is an argument to be made for Pedri, even if I do not agree with that argument. That look, the reality is, let's say you pay 4k for that crack campeonato mundial rookie card for Maradona. Most likely in 1 year from now, that card will still be in a similar price range. Again, difficult to predict because cards are a super speculative asset and they change quite fast. But if I had to guess, look, maybe you are up 20%, maybe you are down 30%. The spectrum should be at least more predictable, knowing that cards are super risky. The Pedri card is totally different. If you are paying 4k for that card, look, there is a scenario that card is 10k 1 year from now. If Pedri plays out of his mind, if Pedri plays that, look, Pedri is actually the next big guy. But that card can also be 1k or even less. So, again, I risk, I reward, but of course you can lose also quite a lot. For me, I'm very conservative when it comes to investing in cars, because I already put cars as a super speculative asset. In terms of fundamentals, I mean, come on, it's not close. This is look, the Pedri card is out of 99. Great, but I, again, don't quote me on this. And at the time you are seeing this video, because you can see this video in 1 year from the time I'm recording, but I believe the Diego Maradona sticker is not even 99 copies at PSA. So yeah, and it's not only that. I mean, he's talking about fake rarity versus organic scarcity, and organic scarcity will always beat fake rarity in my perspective, even if now the market is crazy for fake rarity. Long run, I feel way more comfortable holding items with history, with lineage, with again organic scarcity, and people need to really understand this type of stuff. But look, you can tell me I'm a flipper. Pedri for me is a better buy. Maybe there is argument on that, but if you are value investing, come on, there is no way that you choose Pedri. Let's see what my audience thinks, and I will be shocked if you guys end up choosing Pedri. But of course, it's not the case. 82% believes that the Diego Maradona sticker was a great buy. Actually believe this was on PWCC with an A or something like that. So normally a PSA 2 does not sell even for this amount of money right now on the market for Maradona, but I still, again, easy choice for me. 82% for Maradona, should be 99 to be honest, but I understand that some people are playing the short term or even the mid term, and in that case there is a good argument for Pedri. Moving on to the next one, and this is probably the most difficult one. So if this was the easy one, come on, this is just super easy. The next one, I have to think right now on my choice, because I'm really not sure. And in this case, is 65 Bergman Jared Mueller, one of my favorite cards in vintage. Mueller, legendary player from Germany, versus another legendary player, a player that is super hot right now on the market. Karim Benzema 2006 Panini Foot sticker, rookie sticker. Actually on the back says Panini Foot 2007, but represents 2006-2007 season. Look, both end up selling for around $600. I like both buys. Let's put this out there automatic. What is the best buy? Look, it's very difficult to go against Benzema right now for one reason. We have confirmation bias for Benzema. We know that Benzema is playing out of his mind. Basically, he's the best player in the world by a large margin, in my perspective. Potentially Ballon d'Or, but again, trying to be logic, trying to put confirmation bias. I'm sorry, trying to put confirmation bias out of the equation, things get way more difficult to choose because in terms of greatness, I still believe Mueller is greater than Benzema. Maybe my opinion will be different 2 years from now. Who knows if Benzema keeps going this way and wins this Ballon d'Or, wins the next one, wins the World Cup with France, of course things can change. Look, Benzema, I said this on Discord and people may not agree, but I strongly believe in this. Benzema and Lewandowski, but let's focus on Benzema right now, is probably very close to enter the top 20 players ever, which is a top that probably Mueller is there. So, again, we are seeing greatness in front of our eyes right now with Benzema. Benzema is playing amazing. That being said, I'm not sure what card was the best buy because, in terms of rarity, the Panini foot is still difficult to say because Panini foot in general seems to be difficult to find. At least more difficult than, for example, Ediciones Este in Spain, Merlin stickers in the United Kingdom. So there is that. But in the other hand, the Bergman card is not the most rare card in vintage by any means, but still have strong rarity in my perspective. Even a PSA 2 can potentially be a good old. So again, I'm trying to make sense of my potential choice because I'm really not sure. I'm not trying to tell you one is a better buy than the other. Those are great buys for the long run. I honestly do not know the answer for this one. I may choose the Panini Food sticker for one reason. Um, I think both are great long term holds. So if you are playing the long game in soccer, I think both are great. I think a PSA 9 can potentially have some type of condition rarity. I think a PSA 2, of course, does not have condition rarity, even if there is stronger rarity on the card itself. And apart from that, if you want to flip, if you want to play, let's say even a mid-term, I think the PSA 9 can give you a better upside than the Mueller. And sometimes, look, I'm very conservative on my choices, but in this case, I think going a little bit again, I'm really struggling on this one, guys, as you can see. But okay, better saying, risking a little bit on Benzema can make sense because we know the upside can be much bigger than the Mueller card. So I would go for Benzema, but I'm really not sure on this one. And my audience actually agreed with me, not because I ended up choosing Benzema, but look at this. Come on, I'm talking about more than 300 votes for this one. And this is a good example of two cars that are great buys. And again, you can make solid arguments for both. In the end, there is no correct answer, as you can imagine. Otherwise, the pool will be way more one side. So, guys, this is the end of the best buy. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, I tried to bring different cards, especially at the beginning. Those two cards are cards that people do not talk about. Great cards. Actually, let's do a quick recap. This one is a close one. I think in terms of greatness, Sergio Ramos is bigger, so I think it makes sense to go for Sergio Ramos. If you choose Marcelo, you can make a solid argument there. Those are almost the opposite. I do not like any of those buys, but I think Neymar is way more relevant than De Gea, and for me, that's the correct choice. This is an interesting one because we know Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, they have giant markets, but I would still go for Thierry Henry because in terms of relevance, this card is way more relevant for Henry than the other card for Ronaldo. So fundamentals for me are better on Henry. Check both links on the description. Let's move on. This is the easiest one of all of them. I mean, if you are value investing, there is no way you go for Pedri. If you want to speculate, Pedri is probably a better buy, but for me, clear one, Maradona all the way. The last one is the difficult one. I think you can make both solid arguments for both. Interesting cards, interesting sticker for Benzema. Very close. Again, is whatever you want, basically. I end up going for Benzema, but I may change my mind right now. So, again, very difficult one. Conclusion, guys. Collect things you love, price what you pay, values what you get. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to subscribe. Look, leave a comment. Maybe you think that I'm crazy going for Benzema. Maybe you think I'm crazy going for Neymar. Again, leave a comment and we can debate that. See you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day.